Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Will from Herman's Outdoors, and in today's video, I'm going through my top 10 outdoor themed Oregon beers. And in this video, I'm going to go through the tasting notes for each one of the beers. Now, for me, after a long day in the outdoors and being adventurous, whether it's fishing, crabbing, hunting, or whatever, having a nice beer is really good at the end of the day, reflecting on just the day's memories, the journey, and the adventures out there. So here's my tasting notes for my top 10 outdoor themed Oregon beers. Number 10 is Yellow Snow by Rogue Brewing. Now, this beer is brewed with spruce tips, specifically Oregon spruce tips, and has a citrus bitterness to the beer, which is really good. It has a kind of a crisp flavor and has won a couple of beer awards, actually. The last one being the best of the Northwest at the USA Championships this year. So definitely a recommended one. When I have this beer, like a nice white bean chili, like a chicken chili with it, or just any type of chili with this beer is one of my favorites. Number 9 is the McKenzie Light Pilsner from McKenzie Brewing Company, and it's a dry hopped beer with a couple of different hops. One is a Cascade and one is a Czech hops, and it's a nice smooth Pilsner taste. And for me, I really like this beer with a slice of pepperoni pizza. It goes down well. Actually, any type of pizza, but my favorite would be pepperoni. The beer has a very light, crisp taste to it. Just nothing too sharp with it. Just a nice Pilsner. Number 8 is Rack IPA, a crisp, clean IPA. It's one of my favorites, and it reminds me of what some people would say are the first early IPAs or craft brewery beers that were in the Pacific Northwest. It's a light and crisp beer, and what I would recommend is to have this with fish and chips. It kind of brings that bitterness, that tang, that sharpness when you're having a basket of fish and chips. So that's what I would recommend. It's one of my favorite tasting beers. Also, is just great any other day of the week. You can never go wrong with the Nice Rack. Number 7 is the Trail beer from 10 Barrel Brewing Company. Now, this beer's got a lot of oranginess to it with hints of caramel and toffee and bitterness. Definitely an interesting pale ale that I've drank, and definitely has a different flavor profile than a lot of pale ales that I've had. I really like it. The orangeness and the bitterness and the sharpness comes through really well. I would recommend having this beer with, say, like a walnut and strawberry salad, or something that is a little bit less fruity. So something more of kind of like a lean dish, like venison steak with some sweet potatoes, something to cut out the sweetness from this beer. But definitely at the end of the day, after hiking on a long trail or whatever, the trail beer is a really good one to have. Number 6 is the Fly and Dry from Pelican Brewing. Now, I got introduced to this summer, and this beer has a crisp and punchy aroma and flavor to it. It's got hints of orange, but also white grape, which you don't normally get or ever get in an IPA, which is super interesting. It has a different flavor profile than a lot of IPAs that I've ever had. So it's a super interesting new beer, especially for people who are IPA connoisseurs to try this out. Now, I would recommend this actually with a nice halibut and some vegetables and some potatoes on the side, or even just halibut like fish and chips would be a good one with this beer. It'll add to that seafoody flavor. It'll make you feel like you're at the beach while having this. The Bowie IPA beer is number 5 on my list, and it is brewed with Meridian and Crystal hops. It's a nice, fresh, and crisp IPA, and one of my favorite meals to eat with this is actually salmon and chips. So fried square pieces of salmon with chips. It's got that feeling of the beach and fishing and the coast and Astoria, and can never go wrong. This IPA is one of my favorites, and on a gloomy day or a bright sunny day at the beach, the crisp hoppiness of this IPA is one of my favorites. My number 4 beer on my list is Pray for Snow. Now, this beer is brewed with English hops, and it has a crisp but dark flavor profile. And what I mean by that, the hops have a very molasses and spice and raisin and caramel flavor, which is super interesting. Kind of, if you think of those holiday or autumn or fall kind of flavors, Pray for Snow is definitely has that kind of fall flavor profile. And I actually recommend this beer with some cinnamon rolls for breakfast. So if there's anybody who loves to crack open a beer for brunch, this would actually be good with some nice fresh cinnamon rolls with some icing on top. So definitely a different flavor profile than some of the other beers on the list, and that's why I like it. Number 3 on my list is the 20-inch Brown Trout by Cascade Lakes Brewing Company. This beer in particular is brewed with 6 different malts and hops, and is a very dark malty beer. And what I would recommend pairing with it is a venison burger with some waffle fries. Kind of a very hearty, rich meal. The beer really pairs well with venison in terms of a lean game meat burger. You can do other burger types, but this is just a good dark overall beer for those winter days, or even in the summer. Elk Camp IPA from Cascade Lakes is number 2 on my list, and it's a hazy, dry type of IPA that has a crisp and bright flavor profile to it. It's inspired and influenced from the fall and the changing colors of the leaves, and it's just one of those late fall transition beers from summer into fall, which I really like. Specifically, I would pair this actually with like an elk burger, some elk backstrap with some gravy, potatoes, and vegetables. It's just one of those good beers to have. And if you're having it at Elk Camp, definitely have some fresh backstrap with it. Or if you're just having it at home, make some burgers for the family. It goes great. My number 1 beer is Pacific Rain by McKenzie Brewing Company. Now, this beer is brewed with 4 different hop varieties, and it's got some fruity, crispy notes to it. Definitely is a great all-day drinking beer, especially with all the rain here in Oregon. It's one of those, you can be outside, you can be indoors, just kind of one of those good overall beers. Has some citrus notes to it. It's not too sharp. It's very mellow on the tongue, and goes great with a lot of different dishes. I actually like it with Dungeness crab with garlic butter, especially. It's one of those beers that adds a little bit of that fruity note, but also complements really well with Dungeness crab and seafood. So definitely one of my favorite beers to drink, especially in the summer or here in Oregon during the 12 months of the year when it is raining outside. But it's my number 1 and probably one of my all-time favorite beers to drink. Thank you everybody for watching my video today on the top 10 outdoor themed Oregon beers tasting notes. Now, hope you guys learned something new today. May have introduced you guys to a new beer, which is awesome, or what I like to pair or eat meals with some of these beers. So hopefully it'd be something inspiring or something new that you guys learned. I'm definitely finding new outdoor themed beers out there. So in the future, if you guys like this video or drop some comments about some outdoor themed beers that I might need to go try or that I have never seen or found before, drop a comment in the video. Might have a follow-up version 2 of this video at some point, but definitely one of my favorite videos so far. Thank you guys as always, and until next time, the outdoors is a gift. Share it with others.